What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. This is the time of the week where I tell you why I love a certain game. What about the game I enjoy? So many games. So little time, my friends. So we need to concentrate on the games we really enjoy. So thank you for joining me here. And this week, we're going to discuss a game that kind of took me by surprise. I knew everyone had been raving about it. I didn't quite understand why. So my friends, why don't you join me, and together we are going to find out what it is, why I enjoy, why I love when Horrified hits the table. And I'll see you down at that table right now. When I first heard about this Ravensburger game, which by the way is good for 1 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, and it should take you about 60 minutes or so to play. Now when I first heard about this and first saw it, it just made me think of like a bad board game version of Monster Squad. A halfway decent 80-ish movie that kind of stands up a little bit, I guess. I don't know, I haven't seen it in a long time. But it's about a bunch of kids who are fighting the universal monsters who are invading their small hometown. So, I didn't quite get the game at first. I don't mean I didn't get it like I didn't buy it. I mean, that's true, I didn't. But I didn't get it as in, I didn't understand what the appeal for this was. Well, flash forward a little bit, like today, and I can sit here and safely tell you that I get it now. It does play out like a universal monster movie. You have all the elements that are right there in the game, and that really made me enjoy this game so much more now that I've experienced it, and I get it. Now, speaking of universal monsters and understanding the feel that this game is capturing, I also got to say that unless there was something decades ago that I am completely unaware of, I've got to say that this is the only board game I have ever heard of, much less played, that actually has Abbott and Costello in it. Chick and Wilbur. In the game. That's Abbott and Costello. Go, please check out Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That's where they completely got those characters from. And I love that movie. I've loved Abbott and Costello since I was a child. I used to race home on Sunday to watch the Sunday Abbott and Costello movie on TV, and this was by far my favorite. To see it in the game really brings something that I would never have expected any board game to bring, and that's Abbott and Costello. Now, putting aside the fun factor of its universal monsters, it's Abbott and Costello, what we're looking at here is actually a very simple game, and I don't mean simple in any sort of insulting way at all. I mean, the rules are not difficult to grasp at all. I mean, this game is listed for 10 and older, and I swear I could have been playing this game and understanding it at 8. I mean, I was playing D&D at 8. I could have been playing this. It is not a difficult game to wrap yourself around. It is basically just you taking some actions like move or pick up items, clues, maybe help townsfolk by moving them to their destination, helping them get to their destination. That's really it. And then the monster gets to go, and the monster's actions are all determined by a deck of cards. And it's set up really good and interesting, and it works the way it is. Depending on which monster you're playing with, there'll be different possible actions and reactions that it's going to take depending on the different card that you draw. So it's really a simple mechanic, very easy to pick up, very easy to teach. Now, as far as being a solo game, since you can play it one player, I've actually enjoyed it. In most cases, you would play multiple characters in a cooperative game like this. And that's how they solo it. Well, in this, you can play just one character because the level of difficulty of the game is based upon how many monsters you are facing. Is it going to be 2, 3, 4, or like all 5 of them? Which is insanity! Especially for a solo game. But so you can control the level of difficulty of the game very easily, which also controls the time that the game is going to be played a little bit, to a degree. And that's all going to bring the solo experience just as strong as with the experience playing with a group. I feel that there is little to no difference in how the game feels and your experience from it, whether you're playing with just one investigator or multiple investigators. So I think the game is very well balanced to be both a solo and multiplayer game. Now, I want to just take a second to point out the miniatures. I don't love them. I don't. I like them. They're okay. They're good miniatures, but they're far from being great. Not a lot of detail is in them compared to some other great miniatures that I've seen, and I'm betting that you've seen as well. But the miniatures are okay. I like them. Between the color differences of the miniatures, as well as the size and the shapes, it is very, very easy to tell them apart while you're sitting at the table looking down at the board. You're not going to get confused over who's who. But I don't know. It just seemed like they could have got a little bit more detailed with some of the monster figures, I think. But they're okay. I don't hate them. I just don't love them. Now, many of the cards, and I think it's what the monster cards, their design, their thematic design, not only captures that like 1930s and 40s Hollywood feel, but they have a black and white and gray tone to them, which further pulls you into the thematic feel of an old black and white Universal horror movie. And that little touch, which they didn't really have to do, I wouldn't have noticed if they did. If it was color, it wouldn't have registered to me as either good or bad, or it's the way it should be. This is thematic, it's not thematic. No, but because they did this black, white, gray tone to the cards, there's no doubt that it is capturing that thematic feel of the old black and white horror films. One other thing that I like about this, I want to close off here with, is the way you deal with the monsters. Different monsters have different needs. Different monsters have different vulnerabilities. There's going to be different tactics. So some of the monsters, like Dracula, is going to be, eventually a fight. After you deal with like his coffins, you're going to have to go deal with him. While others are more of solving a puzzle. You know, like with Frankenstein and the Bride, you want to bring them together and show them what it means to be human. Like with the Invisible Man, you're trying to convince the local police department that there's an invisible man running around town doing all these crimes. So the way you have to deal with each and every one is different and unique, and it's not just always combat, not just a slugfest. Some of them, yes, you're fighting Dracula, but others, there's puzzles. You're overcoming the monster with intelligence and wit. And I love that. I love the fact that they're all different strategies, different weaknesses. It really makes it more unique. And of course, adds to the replayability, especially when you can mix and match the monsters as you see fit, which is going to work better and worse together. Some monsters it's going to be easier to bring down when they're together, especially depending on what investigators you're using, while other combinations it's going to be tougher. So that's a wonderful part of this game. So this is my 2 cents. My 2GP is what I'm giving you here. So just take this information, and if anything you've heard or you've seen here further interests you, please go get more information and inform yourself. Don't be influenced. Get information, get informed, and then decide whether this is the kind of game that you might like. But I'm betting that if you've made it this far to the end of the video and you're still wanting to learn more about this game, you're probably already hooked. So please, by Ravensburger, go check out Horrified. Another Tabletop Takeout Tuesday is here, my friends. I love talking about the reason why I love certain games. All right, Tuesday is here. That means I get to do another Tabletop Takeout Tuesday where I get to tell you why I like a certain game, why I love it, what is about the game. Bad.